Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Conservative Lady Talk. I'm your host, Percy. And before we start, I would just like to apologize for the little redness that I have around my eyebrows. My body, my choice, right? I had to wax them. Um, Speaking of my body, my choice, do you know what isn't your body, your choice? A fetus. So, getting into that, today, if you can't guess, our topic is abortion. And this is pretty much all statistics. I will be dropping my link to all my sources below, like I always do. And I'm also going to provide some pictures of what like the fetuses look like at like 13 weeks and at 20 weeks. That'll totally make sense the further I get into it. So let's just start out with the basic statistic. In 2017, approximately 18% of all U.S. pregnancies, excluding spontaneous miscarriages, ended in abortion. Also in 2017, Washington, D.C. led the country with the highest percentage of abortions at 37%. That's a lot of dead babies. And you may want to fight like, oh, maybe those were like when they were still a clump of cells. I believe life starts at contraception. So I mean, like, I do believe in using Plan B. So it says to take the Plan B within 3 days for it to be accurate. That is when I think it's okay to use Plan B. After that, you gotta live with your mistake, in my opinion. But that's a whole other thing to really get into. New Jersey led the country at 32%, New York at 31%. Again, those are incredibly high. The lowest percentage of pregnancies aborted were in Idaho at 5%, South Dakota at 4%, and Wyoming at 2%. Thank you. I'm not really that surprised with Idaho because Idaho is a very LDS state, which is amazing. Being a fellow LDS person myself, of course, it's probably going to have one of the lowest ones considering they have the second highest population of what are frequently called Mormons or members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as we're supposed to call ourselves. More than 60 million legal abortions have occurred in the U.S. since 1973. 1973 is when the Roe versus Wade case went through, and that's when abortion became federally legal. So that'll also play more into everything as well. 86% of unmarried women accounted for all abortions. That's alone in 2016 compared to the 4% of married women who do have abortions. I don't agree with abortion. That's pretty much going to be the whole gist of this video. I think abortion's shitty. I think it's a terrible decision. But 86% of unmarried women, I'm sorry, I'm an unmarried woman myself. If I got pregnant, either A, that man better fess up to his problems and he, should help. I'm not saying it's to pay child support. I'm not saying it's to be in the kid's life. I would just hope that he would at least stay through like 6 months of the pregnancy need be. Because, I believe in making medical choices with both partners, both male and female, or vagina and penis person, if you guys want to say that gender isn't correlated to sex. Just pretty much a person with a vagina and a person with a penis. The person with the vagina is always going to get pregnant. That's just how it goes. So, with that, like, I have a family member who, bless his soul, when he was younger, he had a partner, female partner, who actually went behind his back and got an abortion and didn't tell him until after it happened. That, I believe, was within the last 4 to 5 years. And that honestly screwed him up. Like, he has a hard time trusting women now because that woman went behind his back and killed his child. And, he's one of those people that's kind of like, yeah, she's a woman, it's her body, her choice kind of a thing. But he's like, also, that was my child. I should have had a say. And, I believe that as well. I believe that men should have a say in abortion unless it's, rape or incest. Then they've pretty much invalidated themselves as animals. But anyways, getting back to all of this, that was more of a little rant. Before trying to debate that whole teen mom debate, I hate that debate, honestly, because girls younger than 15 years old made up only 0.3% of abortions. So 0.3% of abortions. From 15 to 19 years of age, that number was 9.4%. Majority of the women who get abortions are 20 to 24 with a percentage of 30%. That is insane. 30%, that's a really high number. I'm within that category. I'm 21. I'm within that 20 to 24 category. I cannot imagine having somebody my age go and get an abortion. I mean, to be fair, if you don't want a kid, there are preventative measures like Plan B, birth control, condoms, abstinence, that's a pretty big one. You know, they usually teach that in school before they tell you about birth control, or at least the school that I went to with our sex ed, they're like, yeah, abstinence is the only way to not get pregnant and to not make a mistake and have a child if you don't want one. Which I believe is more than perfect to tell you. And I mean, if you don't want to be on like birth control, you know, you can go to your doctor's office and get a plan B for the most part for free or cheaper than going to like Walgreens per se and buying it for $30. And even then $30 compared to paying like in between $508 and $535 for an abortion is a hell of a win to me, if you ask me. Amongst the women who had abortions, 41% had no prior kids. So almost half of the women that had abortions did not have children prior. That's stupid. What if that was your only chance to get pregnant? What if that was your only chance to have a kid? You have now killed your only chance, and you've now killed your only child. 45% had 1 or 2 prior kids. Again, still terrible. Nothing you're going to say is actually going to convince me that it's not horrible. But, I mean, at least you know that you're capable of holding and bearing children. And 14% had 3 or more kids. That's still bad, but at least, you know, kind of going back to the other one, at least you know you're fertile enough to have kids. So, that's a win. In 2016, white women only made up 10% of abortions. 26% were black. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Actually, I don't feel bad. Why should I have to feel bad? You guys want to talk about how Black Lives Matter? Sorry, I'm getting like feisty about this. Like, I get so mad when people yell at me Black Lives Matter and, you know, want to tell me that like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter, da 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 da. But black women are 3.5 times more likely to abort than a white woman. Again, that's not personal opinion. That's statistics and facts. So, you can't fight with the facts. That's just how it is. Let's look at why abortion occurs. 0.5% are from a victim of rape. 3% is fetal health. 4% is physical health, both of either the mother or the child. 8% don't want to be a single mom. Sucks for you. You should have made better decisions. And 23% can't afford to feed a baby, and 25% already. You know, I gotta think about how to phrase this real quick. I mean, I write everything down, but like, even then I feel like my phrasing is gonna come across horrific. One example I like to use is that's like putting down a dog because you can't afford to feed it. It's like, oh, sorry, bud. Yeah, your life matters less than mine because I can't afford to feed you. You know, adoption's a thing, right? Like, plenty of people who can't have kids would love to adopt through an actual, like, pregnant teenager or pregnant mother who either A, can't afford a child, or B, doesn't want one. Like, those people are out there, and it's really expensive to adopt. Like, I've looked into it as a personal thing. You know, I don't want to get too much into that because my fertility's not up for debate, but, you know, like, if you go through a personal woman instead of through an agency, it cuts down on, like, several of tens of thousands of dollars. So, I mean, what you could do is some people actually get paid to, adopt, or to give a child for adoption to these parents. Meaning, you know, you're gonna get paid for having a kid. Why the fuck not? Like, why the fuck not just have the kid and just do it that way? I mean, seriously though, and if it's really that bad, you can go through an agency. I mean, yeah, you know, they might charge you like filing fees, but raising a child's gonna cost a lot more than that, let me tell you. It's gonna cost you hell lots of money. So in Florida in 2018, they had 70,083 abortions. Of those reasons, 0.01%, so tenth of a percent, was from incest. 0.14% was rape, but 20% of all abortions were because of social and economic reasons. 20% of 70,083 is 14,016.60. So 14,016.60, rounding that up to 14,017, because, you know, if it's above 5, you round up. If it's below 5, you round down. Basic math. Were, in my opinion, killed because a woman either didn't want to A, face embarrassment, or B, just go through, like, adopting her kid out. That's selfish. That is so selfish. Like, that literally hurts me. It's like, imagine what that kid could have done to grow up. Like, that kid could have cured cancer. That kid could have, you know, build an economic trade system that could have been better for our community. They could have been a non-child sex trafficking Mother Teresa. They could be the next Jeff Bezos. Like, this child could have done anything. And you killed it. And I'm not here to place guilt on women, but if you feel guilty from watching this, it's probably because you have a conscience. 10% of abortions happens between 13 to 20 weeks. 13 weeks is 2.99 months. So rounded up to 3 months to 4.6 months. So, about 5 months. So between 3 and 5 months. At 13 weeks, tiny bones are beginning to form in its little arms and legs. This baby is now the size of a Georgia peach in length. So, the baby's about this big. Thing probably weighs about, 2-3 ounces. Maybe a little bigger. And the vocal cords are now starting to form. So that way, eventually, when it comes out, it can have its first scream. At 20 weeks, the baby can suck its thumbs. You can find out the gender and the punching and kicking start. Meaning the child is now going to start being more physically active with inside you. If it's a girl, her ovaries and eggs will develop at 20 weeks, and she will have approximately 7 million eggs, 1 to 2 million by the time that she is born. You've now killed your grandchildren. If it's a boy, the testes will be coming soon as the penis is fully developed. You have now killed more of your future grandchildren. Either way you go, you're just killing people left and right. In 2017, 72% of U.S. abortion clinics performed abortions through 12 weeks, 25% through 20 weeks, and 10% through 24 weeks. 24 weeks is 5.5 months. A pregnancy normally ends around 9 months, sometimes if it's twins as early as 8 or 7.5. Meaning that thing is pretty damn developed. Between 1973 and 2015, 439 women have died due to complications from an abortion. In 1972, a year before abortion was legal, again, look into the Roe versus Wade case, was legal, like, for recreational abortion is what I'm going to call it, because I don't believe it's medical. 24 women died in legal abortions, meaning they died for medical reason abortions, and 39 died in illegal or back alley abortions. So, I'm not a math genius or anything, but I'm pretty sure, 39 and 24 is way less than 439, and 439 is the amount of legal ones done. So the fact that the illegal back alley abortions and the legal abortions together combined, still don't add up to the amount of people who've died from abortions since it became legal up until 2015 years old. There's a problem. Some of those doctors might be a little sadistic, and, I'm not saying every doctor's perfect. It does happen where women do get complications. Sometimes they have to use a laser or suction, and, I've looked a lot into how they do abortions just out of personal curiosity. Honestly, God, it was traumatizing. The first time I saw abortion tools, how old was I? I was 18. I was 18 years old. I'm 21. That was 3 years ago. I called my adopted mother in tears about what they use to, just tools. Not even like if they have to use a vacuum, or it's like a vacuum. It's a suction, pretty much. Like, not including the little suction thing, and not include the little, like, this is laser thing they use inside you sometimes if it's an ectopic pregnancy, which is a whole other thing. One of them looked like a meat tenderizer, and that was the part that stood out the most to me. One of them was like a hook with like a little thingy on it. It was horrifying. Honest to God, looking at it, I busted down in tears. I called my adopted mother and I cried. I could not handle what I had seen. It was so traumatizing to even look at the tools, let alone imagine someone sticking those inside me. Fuck no. If a doctor's like, yeah, we have to give you an abortion, I'm like, no. Personally, I'd rather risk a miscarriage or risk a stillbirth than have an abortion. And I mean, it's different if it's like I had a miscarriage and the baby's arm is still inside of me and the doctors have to go in and remove it. That's different. They can dilate you for that, and they get little tweezer plier things and just, do it that way. But that's different. That's actual medical reasons. Because, if you don't remove part of a fetus after it's died inside of you, you can't actually die from that, which is part of the reason why women are dying from legal abortions is because doctors will forget limbs or body parts or sometimes part of the placenta, and the placenta will rot inside of the woman, and that is disgusting. Because, you know, like, when you're eating salmon, it has, like, that gray shit on the bottom, like, not the scales, but that gray shit between, like, the meat and the skin, and it's gray, and I mean, it's edible, but that's what it looks like when the placenta rots inside of you and comes out. It looks like that, smells like that, feels like that. Not that I know from experience, but that's how my friend described it to me. So, you know, ew. Absolutely gross. Only 39 states in the United States require parental consent for minors getting an abortion. That pisses me off. If you're under the age of 18, you have no right over your body. That is up to your parents' decisions to make that right for you. Not saying if your parents are telling you you have to get an abortion, you have to get one. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're going to go get an abortion, your parents need to know what you're fucking doing, because 9 times out of 10, assuming your parents aren't on welfare, they're paying for insurance, and they're going to find out eventually. So why not be upfront and honest with them? You know, I know more parents that get upset their kids weren't honest about them getting an abortion and finding out on a bill later than them going up and being like, hey, mom and dad, I fucked up. I made a mistake. I'm taking accountability for my actions, but not completely, because I'm going to go and kill this baby, instead of taking complete accountability and just take care of my damn mistake. But, you know, parents are going to be a lot less pissed if you're honest with them. But fortunately enough, these states are Alaska, or Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Maryland, Minnesota, Michigan, Missouri. I don't know, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. The state that's MS for its abbreviation. Montana, North Dakota, North Carolina, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wyoming, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. To those states, I thank you. I thank you so much for requiring a child to go get a possibly life-threatening medical procedure. Oh, that's another thing. What if you die from getting an abortion and your parents didn't know? They're going to know from your autopsy report. I mean, to be fair, you're already fucking dead, so you're not going to have to deal with the problem. But, you know, now you're going to have to, if you believe in a God, you're going to have to go answer to your maker on why you would kill one of his children. You know, children are sent here by God to, you know, bless this planet and to enrich it. And, you know, also babies choose to come to Earth, in my opinion and my religion. You know, they choose to come here and they choose to have a life here, and all you've done is kill it. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I think you're honestly a shitty human being for it. Do I have any control over the decision that you have made? No. Should I? I shouldn't. The government should. But altogether, I'm just going to say I think you're a garbage human being for killing an innocent child. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's horrible. But, you know, I know my voice isn't going to change the entire world, and I know having a vagina and being a woman is something that, you know, is going to get me a lot of hate for being anti-abortion. But, I mean, can you be surprised? Like, you know, before I was, you know, came back out as a conservative, even as a liberal, I hated abortion. You know, like, I always said, like, I want to get one, but I don't care if anyone else gets one. And honestly, I do care when other people get them. Like, you know, I have someone that's really, really directly related to me. And when she called me on the phone and told me she was pregnant, my first question was, what are you going to do with it? Because, you know, if my sister was going to out the words, I'm going to abort my child, I would have a kid. And next month, if my sister was going to kill that child, because, you know, I would try to have her carry term, and then I would adopt it from her, because I would not let her kill this child. And I'm happy that she chose to keep it, because she is forever in love with this child, and she hasn't even met him yet. And I mean, we're all fucking excited for this baby. Like, we are so thrilled. Like, I literally cannot wait to meet this kid, and I can't wait to see him turn into the most amazing little man ever. But, you know, like, the fact that because of the households I was raised in, my first thought was, what are you going to do with it? That's sad. that's sad that I have to ask somebody, what are you going to do with your child? You know, it's like, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it, kind of a thing. That's just how I am. That's what I believe. You guys don't have to believe me, but that is the end of today's episode. So thank you guys for coming in and chatting with me, and welcome to Conservative Lady Talk if you're new. If you're not new and you're a reoccurring person, thank you so much for coming. And also, I got this nice little hat today. It's my new favorite hat. Make America Great Again. I'm so thrilled to be an official owner of Donald Trump gear, other than, you know, my two lovely flags, of course. Because, I mean, you know, I got this one, which is the newer one, and then I got the, you know, original one that he came out with. But this one says Keep America Great, because it's for his 2020 campaign instead of for his 2016 campaign. And, I mean, I'm so thrilled. Again, thank you everybody for coming in today. I am your forever host, Percy, and I hope you have a great one. Bye.